I was one of the first people to
Yeah.
start saying to people, I don't think you realize we've just discovered the Americas.
Yeah. I saw when you started saying that, and I was like, you are so right. It's like, we just discovered Earth. It's like, here it is. It's untouched, unclaimed, ready for you.
And what is it going to look like? What does it do? What
Yeah.
societies can you build on it? We have no idea. And that's where becoming the macro investor becomes fun again. Because here we are with even more unknowns,
Yeah.
but the upside, as you've just pointed out, is gigantic.
Yes.
So what a world to play in. And it levels the playing field, everybody. Because if you think in this world, let's say we move education to the metaverse, which is a shoe-in guarantee.
Guaranteed.
So you are Harvard and you're in the metaverse and you're a kid from Ethiopia with no money or whatever university. Now you can compete on a level playing field because you don't need to go and live in the United States. Your relative cost of education could be less because Harvard can scale education better because education becomes a SaaS business. But not only that, any prejudice based on rate, height, anything, any prejudice at all disappears once you use an avatar.
That's true.
Everybody is equal. You have no idea who's the billionaire, who's the trash carrier, who's the kid living in the favela in Brazil, or who's the kid growing up in Greenwich, Connecticut. You have no idea. Okay, that is powerful. So then all jobs, because we're moving towards the digital world and software is eating the world, all jobs go into this metaverse because it becomes a profound driver of GDP or a new GDP. So therefore, you're going to open up opportunities to people who never had these opportunities before. And that's already happened. And that's just started. That's really the last 2 years in the gaming world. When you've added money into it, you're starting to change lives. It's barely started because people still think of the game. This is not the game. Life is going to be the game. So I think that crypto is the life raft,
Okay.
the Noah's Ark.
All right.
Right, that's where we can move our savings and a financial system across
Okay.
in a migration because we've learned that we're not going to see a collapse. We're going to see a debasement of our earnings power and our savings.
Okay. So slow reduction of value over time.
So we'll see them destroy it over time with the tail risk, the smaller probability that everything blows up. So given that, we'll all start migrating across.
Right.
So you and I have migrated across already.
Correct.
And more of our savings and our transactions and our reliance goes into this new crypto world. Okay, that's fine. That's the saving. That's if I get one message across to everybody, it's get involved in that world first. I know most people here are involved in the metaverse in some way or understand it. But first is the crypto step. Without that, there is nothing. So now we've decided we're humans and we know how to screw everything up. We can now create a new world without sovereign borders because by the end of it, you will lose faith in government. In what format doesn't mean riot in the streets, but you'll want to create your own societies. Now with tokens, cryptocurrencies, you can have your own currency for your particular community. You can have a token that represents your role in that community. So now you're living in a sovereign state that is not a sovereign state.
Mm-hmm.
It is a complex adaptive society with a system of money that's happening in a digital world. So this now becomes the future world where you can redo over mistakes or create a world that you want. Now, what's interesting about the metaverse, it's infinitely expandable. So we can both live in different metaverse experiences and never the twain shall meet. Now, which is good and bad. I mean, most of us actually like mixing with humanity. Sometimes we don't because social media has polarized us. This tribalism online has polarized us. But you can, if you've got a system of money and the world is now digital, you can do anything. So I don't think of it as the savior. I think of it as where it goes when we recreate the world, which is like it's the Americas. The Europeans kind of had enough of what was going on in Europe and they created a new life, and that was the Americas. And this is our opportunity. The reason why macro people get this pretty quick is we look at the past, look at that behavior, make predictions that humans are going to do the same things again.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
So, to put the crypto thing in perspective, this is really important. 1997, there's 150 million internet users. This is the fastest growing technology the world has ever seen. Just come on the back of mobile phones as well, which were less, but growing fast. but the internet exploded that. But the internet was growing 63% a year. We'd never seen anything like it. We're all aware of it because everybody listening to this has been involved in it and everybody sees it. Then crypto comes along. 2021, it's been growing at 113% a year. It's got 150 million users, the same as the internet in 1997. It's growing at twice the speed. It is by far and away the fastest adoption of any modern any technology in all human recorded history. If you extrapolate the maths very simply, you're at 1 billion people by 2024, and you're at 3.5 billion by the end of the decade. We have no comprehension how fast this is moving.
Do you see the world of finance finally keying in on this? Are there still people being like, no, man, that's crazy. Stop, put down the bong and, get back to reality?
I live in a bit of an echo bubble because, I'm a very well-known person in this particular space. But when I step out of it, the reality seems about right is 20% of people understand any of this, even just the cryptocurrency part, let alone the metaverse, but, forget that. But just at crypto level, it's probably 20% are non-cynics and 80% are still either on the fence or don't even know about it or ignore it or are angry at it. But that's what adoption is. That's what Metcalfe's law is. It's more of all these people. When I look at that, I'm like, yippee, this 4x here in the number of people who need to come onto that network. What's the network worth? Well, it's going to be worth 50 or 100 or 500x from here. What you're going to get, and again, I don't think your industry's ready for it.
Probably not.
You're going to get a gigantic infusion of talent.
That's true.
From people you never dealt with. But when you get and it's going to be like creating the Americas, and suddenly a bunch of economists turn up and go, how can I help? And a bunch of finance guys, and then a bunch of crypto guys, and a bunch of people in education, and a bunch of people doing this. And all of these people are going to gravitate to your world. So, I've always thought, somebody like Epic Games is going to be, the next, $5 trillion company because it's, so I'm a macro guy. So we go back to the beginning of our conversation. I'm looking for gigantic trends. So here we've talked through why the culmination of all of these things ends up in the metaverse, which is the final state of which we don't know what that's going to be, right? But to place your bets there we just don't know the time length, but we can see how fast it's going. And the curve is exponential, so it's going to come much faster than we imagine. And it's still underpriced as a kind of whole asset class, thinking about anything in the metaverse, that people are going to get phenomenally rich for having spent the last 10 years locked away in their bedrooms building stuff for passion. And that's great.
What to do in such a situation? Inform yourself and keep your financial education strong. We from the Compact Group offer our loyal subscribers a free educational portal with first-hand monetary, financial, and economic knowledge. Enter our invite-only Insider Club by clicking the link below. You will get access to first-class information far earlier than the rest. We have prepared a special deal for all our members where you can access a giant pool of Robert Kiyosaki's financial wisdom for just $1. To find out more, simply click the link below and join our Insider Club absolutely free. But there is more you can and should do. Build up several streams of income. More and more people realize that they have to take their future in their own hands, but they don't know how and where to start. We from Compact offer our Insider Club members unique opportunities. Strengthen your financial muscle and get the edge. Click the link below. Become part of our free Insider Club. No financial obligations. But there's one important thing you have to know. You have to become active. So do it now. Become active and see you on the other side.